My name is Jarrell Betts. I've been with Crossroads now 12 years. I'm originally from Texas, but we moved from Arizona to Texas in 2012 after my son was born. So I had a daughter at the time who was 2, and my son was maybe 3 weeks old when we moved. And so I had done some odd and end jobs, hadn't really found my career yet. And I remember I was working with my wife's uncle. And so at that time, we were doing a lot of contracting work all over DFW area. We were giving to local churches, but not really tithing. And I didn't even really know what that meant. And so I started studying it, reading up on it, watching sermons about it, and just talking about honoring God with what you get first before you do anything else. I remember I had about $20, but I gave the 10% to the church, and I put gas in the car and, done some other stuff throughout the week. And I remember I was down to like my last $2, and it was a Friday, and I'd gone into a gas station and I went to buy snacks, and I'm like, this is the last $2 I have before payday. And as I go in there, there's a homeless man, and he's at the register, and he's asking, he has, I think, like chips and a drink, and he's asking how much it is, and they're like, it's $2. Now, this is my last $2, and so, that human part of me kicks in, and, I wasn't as saved as I am now. I'm trying not to make eye contact with the cashier. I'm trying not to make eye contact with the guy. And God just told me, hey, use that last $2 to pay for his food. So I paid for his food with the last $2. I walk out empty-handed. I didn't have anything to pay for my food. And it happened to be payday that day at the job I was at. And so I just made the choice to let everybody else go first. Like, God kept telling me, hey, honor others and I'll take care of you. If you just put me first and honor others above yourself. So I let everyone else go first and collect their paychecks. And when it got to me, they had run out of checks. My rent was due that week. Actually, it was due that day. And I was feeling a little bit nervous as they were writing those checks, and I see person after person stepping forward. I'm looking at the checkbook, and it's getting smaller and smaller. And I'm like, God, I really don't know if that was the best thing to do to let everyone else go first. But I get to the front. I'm like, man, it's not feeling good at this point. It's just, I'm not seeing the whole picture. I'm like, God, why did you allow everyone else to go first? Why did everyone else get paid? And so they paid me in cash, but it was the exact dollar amount to the cent that I needed to pay our mortgage. And because it was in cash, I was able to deposit it into the bank same day and get the mortgage paid. And I was just in awe of how God allowed me to see his hand at work, and just being still and listening to his voice telling me, and sometimes you can get confused. You're like, man, is this my own will? Is this my own ambition? God, is this you telling me to do this? But just seeing, just that first fruits and that commitment to honor God and him making the choice then to allow me to see his hand at work. That was the bigger blessing than being able to pay the rent and being able to pay the mortgage. Any of that was just allowing me to see how faithful and how gracious God is. And since then, we've contributed and we've tithed and have committed to that, tithing over just the 10%. You can't outgive God. You can't, be more generous than God. So as generous as he is to me, I continue to give and continue to be blessed to be a blessing.